This is the Blue Air Blue 411 Auto. It made my small bedroom feel fresher and quieter without me needing to think about it. And that is what I want from an air purifier. I would call this a compact bedroom and home office air purifier for people like me who want cleaner air without babysitting a machine. I live in a smaller space, I share it with a pet, and I am a light sleeper. I need something that does not roar at night, that handles everyday dust and pet dander, and that can react when I cook or when pollen drifts in. This fits that role really well. Design matters because it decides where I can put it and whether I will actually use it. The Blue 411 Auto is a simple cylinder with a fabric sleeve that acts as a pre-filter. That sleeve catches the big stuff like hair and lint before it reaches the main filter. In daily use, that fabric is not just decoration. I run a lint roller or a quick vacuum over it every few days, and that keeps the inside filter cleaner longer. The body is light enough to lift with one hand, so I move it from the bedroom to the home office without thinking. It is roughly the height of a tall wastebasket and smaller than a nightstand, which means it fits under my window without blocking anything. Air comes in from all around through a 360-degree intake, so I do not worry about which side is against a wall. On the top, there is a single touch button and a small light-emitting diode ring that changes color to show air quality. I like that it is one button. At night, I do not want to navigate a control panel. I just tap once to check the mode and I am done. Setup took me the time it takes to unbox, remove plastic from the filter and plug it in. I pressed the top button to switch it to auto mode and I basically left it there. The air quality sensor inside does the thinking. When the room is clean, it keeps the fan low, and when something triggers it, the fan speeds up on its own. The response is quick. I open the door to the hallway, I spray some cleaner or I start cooking, and I hear it gently ramp up within a minute or two. The touch button is responsive, not overly sensitive. I have brushed it while dusting and it did not change modes accidentally. The light-emitting diode ring is subtle. In a dark room, it is not a bright beacon. It fades down after a moment, which I appreciate. Noise is often the deal breaker with purifiers. In night mode, this one is a soft hum that fades into background noise. I can still hear my white noise app, and I do not have to increase the volume. On the everyday setting, it sounds like a very gentle fan across the room. Boost mode is obviously louder, but the tone is not whiny. It is a steady whoosh. I use that after cooking or when I have the windows open and pollen is heavy. Vibration is minimal. On a wooden dresser, it does not rattle or walk. It just sits. Performance is where it earned its spot. The foundation is simple. The outside fabric sleeve grabs the visible stuff. Inside, the particle filter handles the tiny dust, and the activated carbon layer takes care of everyday smells. I am not going to read off a spec sheet. I am going to tell you what I noticed. In my bedroom, which is about 120 square feet, I woke up with less stuffiness after a few nights of running it nonstop. The thin layer of dust that normally lands on my nightstand showed up more slowly between cleanings. During pollen season, my morning sneezes were less frequent when I kept the door closed and let this run in auto mode. The light-emitting diode ring made sense with what I smelled. If I cooked bacon, the ring went red within a minute or two, then yellow as the smell faded, and then blue when the room felt neutral again. The carbon layer is not a magic eraser for heavy smoke, but for cooking, pet odor, and that stale room smell after a long day, it made a noticeable difference. I ran a few simple tests over a couple of weeks. I lit a candle and blew it out right next to the intake. The ring turned red almost immediately. The fan surged to high, and within about 10 minutes the smoke smell in the room was mostly gone. I fried fish once with the door to the bedroom open. The purifier caught the smell as it drifted in, and the ring stayed yellow for about half an hour before settling back to blue. I vacuumed my rugs and then switched to Boost for 15 minutes. The fine dust that usually hangs in sunlight cleared faster, and the room felt less dry and scratchy afterward. I also used hairspray in the bathroom with the door open. The purifier caught that solvent smell quickly. In each case, I did not need to fiddle with settings. Auto mode did the job. A specific use case that sold me was sleep. I put it a few feet from the bed, set it to auto, and turned off the lights. In night mode, it is quiet enough that I forgot it was on. The sensor sometimes bumps the fan up a notch when I turn over and kick up dust, or when the heat turns on and stirs the air. It ramps back down within minutes. I wake up to air that feels fresh, not perfumed, and that is important to me. Another regular use case is my small home office. I spend long hours at the computer, and the door stays shut to keep distractions out. Without any purifier, the room gets a stale smell by late afternoon. With the Blue 411 Auto running at its normal low speed, the room stays neutral. When I bring coffee in or eat lunch at the desk, the lingering food smell is much shorter-lived. There are smart touches that feel practical rather than gimmicky. The 360-degree air intake means placement is easy. I do not think about pointing the front at the room or leaving space on a particular side. The auto mode is truly set and forget. The air quality ring is color-coded and easy to read at a glance. The filter replacement indicator is a little dot that lights up when it is time, which takes away the guesswork. When I did a midweek clean, the pre-filter fabric held a surprising amount of lint, which confirmed it was doing real work before air even hit the main filter. Pulling the top off and twisting the filter out is simple. No tools, no clips. If I want to wash the fabric sleeve, it slides off like a sock and slides back on the same way. I do have a few nitpicks. If I care a lot about heavy odors, like deep frying or strong spices, a larger purifier with a thicker carbon layer will outdo this little one. This model is built for smaller rooms and everyday life, not for treating a big open plan area. The sensor is a bit sensitive to perfumes and aerosol cleaners. That is good for cleaning the air quickly, but it can overreact when I spray a counter or a fabric refresher nearby. The fabric pre-filter does its job so well that it looks dusty faster than I expected. If I want a perfectly clean look, I have to vacuum it regularly or choose a darker color sleeve. There is no phone application or voice assistant connection, which I am actually fine with. But if I want remote control or schedules, I will not find them here. Also, the single button interface means I cycle through modes rather than jumping directly to the one I want, so it takes an extra second. Energy use has been low in my experience. I leave it on all day and all night in auto mode, and I have not noticed any impact on my electric bill. The motor has that quiet efficiency feeling. It is there when I need it, and it rests when I do not. That is the kind of appliance I keep using long term. Over a few weeks of real use, the Blue Air Blue 411 Auto did the simple things right. It is easy to live with, it cleans consistently for a small space, and it stays out of the way. If I have a small bedroom, a nursery, or a compact home office, and I want a purifier that I can plug in, set to auto, and forget, this is a strong fit. If I need to cover a large living room, or I want advanced app controls and data graphs, I should look at a larger model from any brand. For me, the real win is that I breathe easier, I sleep better, and my space smells neutral without adding noise or clutter. If this video helped, please subscribe to the channel and leave a comment with your questions or your own experience with this purifier. Thank you for watching.